I'm your host, Caleb Jones, and this is my NPR voice. In a low testosterone, left wing world, this is how people are going to talk. So just sit back, relax, and stop being a big pussy. My God, you guys are driving me crazy. Talked to three people in a row now, both in my business life and my personal life. Three guys in a row, big beta pussies with girlfriends slash wives, and they're all like, but what if my wife won't let me in? But what if my girlfriend will get mad at me if I do that? You fucking pussy fart. What are you doing with your life? What do I do, Caleb? Well, I don't know. I'm not sure, Poindexter. Maybe what you do is you get your wife's handbag, you pull your balls out of it, you slap them back on, and you live your life. How about that? Oh, she wouldn't like that. God damn it. You know how many women are on the planet Earth right now? You know how many? 4 billion. We just crossed 8 billion people, like what, last year before? 4 billion women on Earth. And you're just terrified, you big pussy, about what this one woman will do when there's 4 billion on Earth. Now, if there was 20 people, 20 women on Earth, okay, you have a point. There's 4 billion. What the fuck are you doing? Who cares? Doesn't like it. Well, I mean, you're married, Kayla. Would you just? Yes, I would. I've said this many times. If my wife, I love Pink Firefly, she gave me a bunch of bullshit as a pattern of behavior, she'd be out within 48 hours. I've said this many times and I mean it. It doesn't matter if I love her. Even when I was a beta, when I was, 35-year-old beta male, I divorced a woman who I was in love with. I still loved her when I left her. Did it once, I can do it again. And you should have those kind of balls too. Oh my God. You guys drive me crazy. And it's getting worse. It's bad enough that we've got these fucking, black pill guys, big towel guys who hate women, are not getting laid at all. That's one side of beta maledom. Then the other side of beta maledom are the guys with the fucking girlfriends and wives who scream at them and yell at them and like, oh, but I love her. Jesus Christ. It's almost like, which one is worse? God damn. It's been so many decades since I lived that life, so I have a hard time relating to it now. Oh, God, kill me. But again, even when I was a beta, I was able to man up a little. Jesus Christ. Let's see here. Wow, we have questions already. What the hell happened here? As usual, we have two topics to discuss today. One of them has been both of them actually highly requested by you guys. These are right out of your requests, so you're welcome. We're going to talk about how to do a first date, my specific model, specific structure for doing so, and then I'm going to switch gears and talk about how I meditate, because I get a lot of questions about this. So, yeah, all right. I just finished listening to Unchained Man, and it was great fucking book. Thanks a lot. Recommend it to all your fans here and men in general. Cool. Only feedback is please be more explicit sexually, and unfilter the book. Be more graphic about pussy and fucking and shit with your new version. No, I have those books. Those are the Black Dragon books. If you want more explicit stuff, I have a book literally called Get to Sex Fast. Get that book. That'll be explicit. There you go. I have a book called The Ultimate Open Relationships Manual. I have an entire chapter there about sex and go ahead, get those books. I'm 31 years old and really interested in your book about banging very young girls. How does that apply to my guy my age, or is it mostly intended for older guys? It's intended for men over 30, so guess what? You qualify. Love to hear about how you incorporate identity shifting, and self-improvement work into your meditations, visualizations, and affirmations. Okay. Hey, Caleb, what times do you prefer walking throughout the day? Okay. You're giving me creeper stalker vibes, dude. You want to run into me in Dubai? Don't do that. Don't be a creeper. You're being weird. Caleb, can you write a book on how to fuck? I have a whole section on sexual skills in the Ultimate Open Relationships Manual at haveopenrelationships.com. Finally got to one of these lives. Cool. A lot of dating apps such as Bumble, Tinder, etc. have a bio cap at around 200 words. I know your recommended dating profile be about 5 paragraphs. What you recommend in that case? Just do your best. It's not a big deal. It's less important on Tinder and Bumble because less women are going to read it. So it's far less important. The 5 paragraph thing or whatever, that is for where they have to see it and they're probably going to read it, like on Match or on the sugar daddy sites. That's where it's more important. On swipe apps, it's far less important. Do you do one-on-one coaching for online dating? Yes, but you need to spend at least $5,000. If you go to sovereignCEO.io/coaching, I have 2 slots left. If you can't spend $5,000, then don't bother. Thoughts on Ecuador, assuming all expats are leaving. Did something happen there? I've been keeping up in Ecuador. Something recently happened? I don't know. Ecuador's good. Watching your video on haters recently, in that video you mentioned banning or shadow banning people who go ad hominem, correct? But how do you handle gray areas like dick all about that subject? Dick all about that subject would not be ad hominem because you're not attacking me. So keep your fucking mouth shut. That would be ad hominem. Yeah. You keep complaining about blank, yet you keep using it. Deal with it. That wouldn't be ad hominem. That'd be okay. That'd be acceptable. Ad hominem means you're attacking me. You're not allowed to attack me, and you're not allowed to attack other people on a stream or on a blog post, but you can attack my words, you can attack my opinions, you can attack my actions. That's fine. I do that all day long. You just can't attack me. So if I say, why are you doing that? That's fucking stupid. I say that to you guys all the time, but I don't say, you're a fucking retard, you dumbass moron, fuck you. I don't say that to you directly. Now I say that in general terms. That's different. You can say that, but that's not ad hominem against the individual. Looking to calculate the number of available women on Earth. 4 billion minus the unacceptable. Too old, too young, too underage. How women are left. So here's my model. I've discussed this in great detail. You take 90% off. 10% are left. What's 10% of 4 billion? Is that 400 million? Did I do the math correctly? Is that right? What's 10% of 4 billion? 400 million, right? Is that right? Yes. I think that's right. Or am I wrong? 40 billion? I don't know. It's bazillions. And you're worried about one pussy. And I will go at home because I'm not attacking one in particular. See how that works? Yep. Stop being a pussy. You guys just, God, you betas. I think the problem with PUA and your dating materials emphasize the idea of getting laid before settling down. It makes guys jaded and cannot be outcome independent, truly have fun. Sure. It's like getting laid equals the end goal. You need to get laid before you get into a serious relationship. You don't get married and then start having sex. Now, I know Ben Shapiro would like it that way, but that's not the way the real world works in the Western world. Now, if you live in Pakistan, that's how it works. Yes. But if you live in the Western world, you have sex first, ideally with several people. Then you pick the best one. Then you settle down with her. That's exactly what I did. That's why I found Pink Firefly. I talk about that in my books. My plan is to offer a male coach. How are we doing on time? Male coaching. One more minute. I'll get to the topics. My plan is to offer coaching for male alcohol addicts in leading positions. I myself had successfully solved this problem 5 years ago. My plan is to offer a specific coaching for high performers who best to approach by managers, high performers themselves, by the companies that employ them and want to keep those valuable assets. Boy, I don't know. You need to determine who your market is. Is your market the companies or is your market the individuals? If your market is a company, you target the companies. Yeah. Now here's the problem. You are putting the problem before the niche. You determine the niche, then you ask them what their biggest problem is. You don't come to the niche and say, you know what your problem is? Your problem is this. I'm going to help you fix it. That's the mistake you're making. So it might, what you're suggesting may not work. Instead, what you would do is, for example, you go to high-performing, high-income men who are alcoholics and say, what's your biggest problem? And be specific. Well, I have alcoholism. But be more specific. That's what you would do. Something like that. Hi, Caleb. Can you give an example of soft nexting and keeping a positive vibe when leaving or kicking her out? It's not a positive or negative vibe when you're doing a soft next. It is a neutral vibe. So you're not happy and smiling. Okay, I'm leaving. Bye. Have fun. You don't do that. That's insulting, right? It's passive aggressive. You don't do that. You also don't get mad. God, well, that's it. You throw your keys down, you get up, you put on your coat, or you're all pissed off. You don't do that either. You're neutral. Neutral expression, neutral look on your face, neutral tone of voice. I've done many soft necks in my life. They were all very neutral. Even if she's going hysterical, that makes her look even more hysterical when you're neutral, right? You know this model. If you have two people and one is hysterical and one is perfectly calm and collected, the other person knows they're being psychos, right? So that's it. It's not positive. It's not negative. It's neutral. Hola from Guadalajara, amigo. Hola, hola. Once you have an epi on lock and you have set up your day to meet them for the week, do you continue to send check-in messages the day of meeting by saying, hey, see you today, or just let them meet up? No, I would, no. If she's new, check. No, I still, if she's new or if she's under 25, you check. Yeah, because they're a little different. War broke out yesterday between Ecuador and the government and the cartels. People are being executed on live TV. Okay, well, just like when people freak out, I haven't done any research on this. Just like when people freaked out about Mexico and it was fine, is this a real problem for expats? If you don't live downtown, you're not protesting the streets, you don't do drugs, you don't do deals with cartels, is this really a threat to you, or is this a 2% rule thing? So, but interesting, I didn't know that. All right, let's get to the topic. All right, hang on. Oh, I look red, don't I? Let's turn off my redness. Hang on. Ooh, like magic. And like magic, I went from red to pale white man. Pale, whitey, pasty boy. Is that better or worse? I don't know. I'll let you be the judge. Oh, actually, let's turn down the brightness too. Hang on. Now I look too white. Too white. I didn't do my fake tan the other day. I should have done it. There we go. I look less bad. See, the goal when you're a guy, if you don't look like Tom Cruise, your goal is to look as least bad as possible. Don't look like Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt. That's not the objective. The objective is to look least bad as possible. I'm a good example of a guy who looks as least bad as I can within reason, right? Am I gorgeous? No, but I look as least bad as possible, especially for a man in his early 50s, an American guy. I mean, put me up against any typical American man in his 50s. I do look like Tom Cruise. Holy shit. My voice is better too. So I got lucky with my voice. That's a genetic thing. Yes, that is correct. I got lucky with my voice. That's so that's something else too, really quick. Use the genetic abilities God gave you. God gave me a really sexy, sexy voice. I'm not saying that. I've been told this. So use it. Use it. If you got a good voice, use it. Use it. If you're really smart, use that. If you're really funny, use that. If you are super good looking, use that. Use whatever God gave you. All right. First date. How to do a first date. Lots of questions about this. First of all, I have an entire mini course on how to do a first date. I'm not going to go into great detail right now as I do in that course. If you would like to get that course, I think it's $130, cheap. And it's at store.calebjones.com, I think. Store.calebjones.com. You can check that. All my mini courses are there. I think that's right. If it's not there, one of you let me know. I'm pretty sure it's there. So the Alpha Male 2.0 dating model, about 4 weeks ago, I did a video live stream / podcast on the whole flow chart I did on the model, starting from the very beginning of finding new women to getting women into your sex life, to putting them in FBs or MLTRs, to maintain the relationship from very beginning to the online, from like the online dating app or the day game, all the way to FB or girlfriend, the entire chart. So this is the first date, the first real life meet, either from an online dating site or app, I should say. I date myself when I say site, should be app, online dating app. Or if you do day game or night game, this is what the pickup artist called the day 2. So maybe you met her at a party or something like that. You got her number, and now this is the first time you're meeting one-on-one. Okay? This is the first, I'll call it the first date, even though in some scenarios, it might not be the first time you actually physically met her. Okay? The first date under my model, first let me discuss the entire model. The entire model, the Black Dragon dating model, the Alpha 2.0 dating model is the following. You have one first date that is 1 hour. We spend less than $27. 1 hour, you cut it off at about an hour. Would that be exactly an hour? No, you Lissig, it doesn't. I'll explain that in a second. Let me exact to the minute, 60 minutes. I mean, Jesus Christ, no. Then as soon as possible, ideally the next day, but you probably can't do it the next day. As soon as you're able, you have the second date where she meets you at your place. And within 2 to 3 hours, you have sex with her there. Okay? That's the model I teach. I do not teach a first date, get laid on the first date model. Why don't I teach that? Because, and this is verified, I come out of the pickup artist world. I know a lot of guys who do first date lays and things like that. It takes longer. You're battling against her ASD and all this stuff, and it's hard fucking work. It takes many hours in many scenarios. My model takes 2 to 4 hours FaceTime, less than $27 spent to get to sex. If you insist on every first date turn into sex, you're going to be spending a lot of time on women who say no and a lot of time on women who say yes. Can you get laid on the first date? Yes, I've done it. Is that typical for me? No, because that's not what I teach. If you prefer that model, ignore everything I'm saying and do whatever you like. If you're following my model, we get laid on the second date, but it's only been 2 to 4 hours FaceTime, you follow this model. Cool? Hang on, need a drink. Okay. I will summarize the first date model. Where do you have the first date? The rule of thumb is the nicest bar in town. Now, if you live in a big city, you pick 4 bars, one at the north, one at the south, one at the east, one at the west. That way, one of those is going to be somewhat close to where she is, and you meet her at that bar. Okay? It can be a super nice bar because you're only going to buy her one drink, and you can buy yourself one drink. That's it. Caleb, what if I don't drink? I don't drink. I've never been drunk in my entire life. So if in that scenario, you can either get a virgin drink and get her a drink. That's the best because then it feels like you're drinking too, even though you're not. Worst case scenario, you could get like a pussy wine, like Riesling or something, and sip it. I've done that. Like at parties or on dates, you sip the wine, take a little sip, you go, ugh. And it looks like you're drinking alcohol. She goes, okay, good. And then she drinks her drink. Okay. One drink for her, one drink for you. You're going to spend less than $30 in most Western cities doing that. Okay. All right. So you can go to a nice bar. Go to a nice bar. If a bar is not an option or she's under drinking age or it's not appropriate for whatever reason, then a really nice coffee shop, not a shitty coffee shop, a nice one. A coffee shop, by the way, that is quiet. Some Starbucks coffee shops are quiet. Some are extremely noisy. So you need to know this before you go there. You need to case these places and go there and make sure they would make for a good first date, which means it's quiet. Okay. Not a cool bar where it's really cool on Friday night. There's a band or a DJ blasting and you got to talk like this and yell over the speaker. That's not a good first date. Okay. Quiet. All right. You can do other things on first dates, like go for a walk in the park. I've had many successful first dates where I got laid within 2 to 4 hours, under $27 spent. We just walked in the park. It's fine. And then for the second meet, she comes to your house. That's okay. As long as the weather is nice. This is winter in most parts of the world. In Dubai, it's perfect right now, but most of you guys, the freezing cold, probably not an option right now. So you get my point. Cool. All right. Now, the first date shows 3 phases. 3 phases. And it's going to be about an hour. You're going to end it at about an hour. Now, let me talk about an hour, because guys get really very anal about this. Well, it has to stop at exactly 60. No. Okay. If it goes 70 minutes, that's okay. Well, Caleb, you can't just say, okay, I got to go now. You can't just do that at first date. Here's how you wrap up the end of the date. One of the most common questions I get on this. When it gets to about 10 minutes till, and if you're not sure, you can set a timer, put a timer app in your phone so there's an alarm that goes off at let's say the date starts at 6, you want to be out there at 7. So at 6:50, alarm goes off your phone, you pick it up, you pretend it's like a text or something, and you put it down. Here's what you say. You say about 10 minutes, 15 minutes before you want to leave, you say, hey, just so you know, I got to wrap this up in about 10 minutes. Is that okay? And you say it just like that. A little beta, not too much beta, a little bit. And damn near 95% of the time, the answer will be, oh, sure, that's fine. So now it's okay when you got to wrap it up in 10 to 15 minutes. Cool? Cool. Easy. 3 phases. Phase 1 is fluff talk. And that's where you sit down, you start talking to her about easy bullshit, beta male safe topics. What she does for a living, her family, what she did today, bullshit. Okay. You just want her to relax because she might be nervous. By the way, on first dates, she will be as nervous as you behave. If you act nervous, she's going to be nervous. If you act chill and relaxed, even if she's terrified, and I've had many first dates like this. By the way, I have had literally hundreds upon hundreds of first dates. I can do first dates in my sleep now. with every type of archetype of women you could think of over the past 17 years of my life. And I've had many first dates where I could tell maybe she's 18 years old, maybe she's in her 30s, but she's been divorced for 5 years and hasn't been on a date for 5 years, and she's super nervous. And I've had all the scenarios. I've had many scenarios where she's really nervous, and within 10 minutes, she's relaxed, smiling, joking around. Why? Because I'm relaxed. I'm chill, calm, outcome independent, leaning back, smiling, just totally relaxed. So if you're relaxed, she will be relaxed or get relaxed. If you're nervous and, oh, I hope she likes me, and, oh, she's so pretty, and, oh, then she'll be fucking nervous and you won't get laid. Okay, work on that. So first phase, you talk about bullshit. Her sister, her brother, her, whatever the fuck, her mom, her cat. Doesn't fucking matter. Her shampoo. I told this story a million times. I'm not going to do it. One of the first dates I ever had with a much younger girl back when I was in my mid to late 30s. But I first started attempting to date much younger women. She was 21 or 22. She talked for 20 minutes about her goddamn shampoo. Whatever. Great. You ask her about those questions, and then you shut the fuck up and listen. Rule number 1 for first dates. I mean, there's a lot of rules for first dates, but this is probably number 1. And I've said this many times. You're familiar with that content. And a lot of guys have trouble with this, but this is rule number 1. She must do 80% of the talking. Minimum. 90 is better. At a minimum, 80%. The more you talk on a first date in particular, second date's a little different, but first date, the more you as the man speak, the lower your odds become of ever having sex with her. That is an absolute 100% maximum. You can write that in iron, and it is the fact, and it's always the way it'll be. And there's too many of you fuckers who are way too talkative. You got to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And you can't shut the fuck up because you're extroverts. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. I've had guys say, well, I try and I can't. Well, then you're fucked. Shut the fuck up. Ask a question and shut up, and you will get laid. I have had sex with numerous women within just a few hours of FaceTime who didn't know anything about me because they talked the entire time. And that's normal. Women trust you when you let them talk. If you talk, here's what's going to happen. As I've talked about many times, women, unlike men, women date to disqualify. So when you go on a date with a woman, or you're swiping women on Tinder or whatever, you're looking for what you like. You're looking for hot girls, or girls with blonde hair, or whatever the archetype is, or girls who are Asians, or girls with big asses, whatever the fuck it is for you. Okay? Everyone, guy's different, right? You're looking for what you want. Women are looking for what they don't want. Women are looking to disqualify. So on a first date, she's got that little radar. You remember R2-D2 from The Empire Strikes Back, where he's in the swamp, and this little radar goes, whoop, comes out of his head. He goes, doo, 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 doo. On a first date, a woman has that. Her head opens up, and this little radar dish comes out and looks for anything she doesn't like. If the shade of brown or black on your socks don't exactly match, she goes, oh, problem. You don't even fucking notice because you're a dumbass and you're a guy. We don't even look at these things, right? Right? You say anything negative whatsoever to that waitress, oh, problem. She's looking for things she doesn't like. Therefore, the more you speak, the higher the probability becomes you will say something she doesn't like. That applies to all men, including me. Can you imagine me with all my crazy opinions, just talking like I'm talking now on a first date? I would never get laid. Are you insane? Can you imagine me sitting down on a first date saying, yeah, I'm in the United States. Yeah, America's collapsing. And Donald Trump fucking sucks, and Joe Biden fucking sucks too. There's nothing you can do about it. And I believe in non-monogamy. I think monogamy is bullshit, doesn't work. And men and women should fuck all the people they want, even though they're married. Imagine me going off about libertarian politics or five flags, and I would never get laid, right? Right. It's the same thing with you, motherfucker. Your topic might be cryptocurrency or Star Trek or Donald Trump or sports. And all these topics, women go, fuck this. So shut the fuck up. Here's the model. You ask her a question, and then you shut up and let her talk and talk and talk and talk. And when she stops talking, you ask her another question based on what she just said. And then you shut up and let her talk and talk and talk. The more a woman talks, I've had hundreds of first dates. When she's just going a mile a minute talking, I love it. I love it because that means I'm getting laid. Perfect. Especially within a few minutes when she starts using positive body language, she starts like leaning forward and making really better eye contact with you and starts smiling a little bit as she's talking. Oh, you're in because you're letting her talk. Shut the fuck up. No other technique works if you just feel the need to fucking shoot your mouth off and talk about your whatever the fuck you talk about. Shut up. The only speaking you should be doing on a first date, honestly, is asking questions. And I'm not kidding. I'm not joking about that. Now, what if she asks you a question? If she asks you a question, you have to answer it. You can't dodge questions. That's another radar detection. Oh, I asked him about his ex-girlfriend. He didn't answer me. Oh, red flag. You got to answer it. And then you immediately turn back to her. I'll give you some examples in a few minutes. If I don't, remind me in the chat. So phase one is you ask her questions about her life. Real simple, easy, dumb bullshit questions. Phase two is you talk about her past relationships. I've done this hundreds of times, and I do very well with women. Guys get nervous about talking about this. They say, well, what if this doesn't work? Or what if this? And what if she starts crying? And try it a few times in real life before you say it won't work, okay? What you talk about is her past relationships, her last boyfriend, the last guy she dated, things like that. Women love talking about this shit. If there's one thing that'll get a woman talking for the next 3 hours straight, it's her exes or past boyfriends or ex-husbands or ex-boyfriends or the last guy who cheated on her or the last guy who shoved her down the stairs or the last guy who treated her like shit. Oh, do women love talking about that shit? And she'll have plenty of stories because most guys are what? Beta males. They're terrible, right? Last guy cheated, the alpha male 1.0 cheated on her, right? It's not like you have to, most women, it's not like you have to prod a woman to talk about her exes or her past dating experiences. They love this shit. So you get her talking about that. And you keep asking questions about it. And she will go on and on. Now, there are the rare exceptions of women who clam up and don't want to talk about that. Yes, it does happen. Rare exception to the rule. Then you got to talk about something else. Fine. But that's very rare, dude. Women love talking about this crap. Right? Right. If you talk to a woman, yeah, they love talking about this bullshit. So again, let her run her mouth. This is good. If she's running her mouth, this is how I've gotten laid hundreds of times on first dates. Here's why I say on a first date as she's running her mouth. Oh, really? Wow. And then what happened? Oh, then what did you do? Oh, yeah, she was a bitch. That's all I say for like an hour. And then I get laid. It works. Okay. But if you can't have the self-control to control your fucking mouth, you gotta start talking about yourself and shit, talk about your opinions. Here's the thing about this. You talkative guys, once you have sex with her twice, or even on the second date, you can start talking a lot more. This is just the first date. For the first date, shut the fuck up. Okay, shut up. But there's a lot of techniques to give. That's the biggest one. Shut up. Let her talk. Okay. That's the middle second phase. So you can imagine like 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes, right? That's about an hour or so. No, it's not. It's 45 minutes. 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes or so. It doesn't be exactly that. Don't be nervous. Or don't be pedantic or nerdy about this. Phase 3, if you can get to it, and a lot of guys don't, and sometimes I don't need to do this in order to make my first date successful, but it does help. Phase 3 is sex talk. You're going to talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. You're going to talk about sex. Very easy segue because you're already talking about men she already dated. So the segue questions are very easy. She'll say something like, oh, yeah, then I dated a guy, like 5 years ago, and boy, it didn't work out because, oh, man, oh. And I'll say, why? Did he have like a small dick or what? And she'll go, no, I didn't have a small dick, but, and then she'll talk about something else sexual. And then you get into that. I have had many, 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 many first dates where by the end of the first date, this is a woman I've never met, we're talking about orgasms, we're talking about coming, we're talking about finger banging, we're talking about all kinds of stuff. Now, do you have to do that? No, you don't. You don't have to do that. It's not required, but it will help. I'll explain why in a second, okay? You want to provide a sexual frame on a first date while not kissing her. I'll cover that in a second, okay? If you don't get to this explicit sexual shit, that's all right. That's fine. But it will help. Now, there are some women, particularly higher ASD women, particularly women over the age of 33. If you start talking about sex, they go, why do you want to know about that? And they fold their arms. then don't push it. Shut up and go back to talk about what you were talking about. Some guys have taken this advice. They kind of push it. If it's clear she's uncomfortable talking about sex, do not push it. You need to have some social calibration here and be able to read the room. Always be paying attention to her body language, her facial expression, how her eyes look, and her tone of voice. Your eyes should be on her anyway. Your eyes should not be checking other chicks and shit like that. You should be focused on her, not boring into her like, laser eyes. But if I'm on a first date, trust me, I am watching as best I can. And men are bad at this. Women are much better at this than men are. But as best as a man can do, paying attention to all the nuances about her body language and how she's feeling about what she's talking about. Okay? Very important. Now, on a first date, you do not kiss her. What? This is one of my more controversial techniques, but it's right. I have had hundreds, if not thousands of men who said, wait, what? And they go try it and it works and they get laid. Try it in real life before you say it won't work. If you're following my 2-date model, the way it works the first date is it's 1 hour, confident sexual frame. You're not going to kiss her. What you can do if you're comfortable, and you should do this, it's ideal, you don't have to. There are some dates I do this and some I don't. Most I do. You keno with the pickup artist called keno, where you touch her, non-sexual touching. So you touch her hands, you touch like the side of her arm. If you're really aggressive and you can feel things, maybe touch her hair, her jewelry. That's more advanced level stuff if you want. Don't have to, but you're touching her. Okay. I've had first dates where I'm touching their thighs. It's all consensual, ladies. This is all consensual. Thighs, hands, arms, hair, ear, sometimes like right here at the jawline. I've done all this stuff. You can do that. Don't kiss on the mouth. Here's the problem with kissing women on the first date. You only kiss women on the first date if you know for a fact you're getting laid right there on that first date. If it's obvious. And you'll have, if you go on lots of first dates, you'll have that scenario. I've had several. Not often, but I've had them. I mean, I've had it where like, some 19-year-old girl will be like, so you want to just go back to your place right now? Yes, let's go. I've talked about this. You'll say, oh no, where are the hidden cameras? You say, yep, let's go. And you get up and you go. Now, if you want to kiss her at that point, fine, but why would you? So you do not kiss. Why don't you kiss? Because you're going to have a second date where you're going to do that. If you kiss, you're ramping up the sexual tension with your sex talk and your keno and your frame. And then you're diffusing it by making out with her. What you want on a first date, if you're following my 2-date model, is at the end of the first date, when you walk away and you leave her alone on that sidewalk corner, you want her going, but you want her wanting more. That's what you laid on the second date. What won't get you laid on the second date is you make out with her and you grab her ass and you do all this stuff. Then she walks away going, oh shit, I just kissed this guy. And then her AST kicks in, her buyer's remorse kicks in, and then she deletes your name off her fucking phone. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. Control yourself. I admit, sometimes there'll be times, I've had this experience, where the chick is so hot and the chemistry is so good, you want to fucking just grab her face and just, I understand. Don't do it. Just trust me, this stuff works. Go try it with 10 girls. Now, guys say, I kiss girls the first date and I get laid. Great. Try it with 10 women, 10 first dates where you make out with her and then fuck her on a second date. Then another 10 where you do the exact same thing you're doing and you don't kiss her. And then track the percentage you have sex with the second date versus the percentage you don't. And you will be surprised to find not kissing works better. Try it. I went through a phase many, many years ago when I was doing this stuff where I was kissing damn near 100% of the women on first date because I came out of the pickup artist world, and way back in those days, 2007, circa, around there, 2007, 2008, the time of Mystery Method and Neil Strauss, and right, the big thing in the pickup artist world was go for the makeout, go for what they call the kiss close. You got to kiss close. You got to open sets and kiss girls. And so I said, oh, okay. So I'd go on these online first dates at Starbucks middle of the day, and I'd kiss all these women, and I got laid a little. And then one day I went, you know what? This seems to not be working. Let me try not kissing. And my lay ratio increased by 4x just by not kissing. It'll work. Try it. It's awesome. Okay. All right. How are we doing on time? Doing okay. What else do I want to say about first dates? You can ask me in the Q&A if you want. What are key points I want to include in the first dates? There's so many things I could tell you. In my book, Get to Sex Fast, gettosexfast.com, I go over the first date in great detail. So I have a mini course on first dates, and I also have a book on how to do first and second dates. And the book is even more expansive. And the book, there's an entire chapter of the book on don'ts, like 21 things you don't do on a first date. Because usually when it comes to getting laid with women and being successful when you're a guy, it's not about what to do, it's about what not to do. So, I mean, I list like 21 things, like don't flirt with the waitress. And don't be mean to the waitstaff. Be really nice. Don't be on your phone while she's talking. Don't brag. Now, you can do this stuff once you're dating her. Once you have lock-in, you've had sex with her twice, do whatever you want. On the first date, you don't do any of this shit. Don't do all this stuff. Okay? All right. Okay. You guys asked lots of good questions. Let me get to those in a second after I cover meditation. What else do I want to say about first dates? That's it. That's the gist. First dates is very important. You need to master first dates. If your woman life is important to you, first date skill is very, very, very important. Today I literally can do them in my sleep, and I have. I've shown up for first dates like half asleep and not dressed that great. I still got laid because I've been doing so many other for like 17 years. I walk my talk. I live a non-monogamous lifestyle. So, I mean, I'm a first date expert under my model. Second date is an entirely different model. Can you kiss the second date? Yes, you have sex the second date. So obviously you can kiss. You know anything you want second date, not everything you want. There's a model of second date too. Maybe for a future video, I can talk about second dates if you guys like. Just let me know. Let me in the chat or the comments. Okay. What about someone you're asking a question right now? Can you go out to dinner? Let me answer a few of these questions I have to do with first dates. That's my bad habit, bragging. You're one of these guys who can't shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and you'll get laid. You've got to get a handle on this. I don't know what it is about you guys. I'm an introvert, so I don't have a problem with shutting up. But a lot of men I can't not brag. What the fuck? What are the best table seat locations, a bar, coffee shop? Okay, great question. Here's what you do. In a bar or coffee shop, what you want to do is sit. This is the best way to do it. Sit at a table where you are what they call kitty corner to her. So you're not sitting next to her at a bar. That's not ideal. Sitting across from her is okay. What's best is you're sitting side by side. So if you visualize a square, so let's number the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, going around a circle, right? You're sitting at 1, she's sitting at 2. So there's a corner between you. So that way you can look right at her, she can look right at you, and you can touch her. That's the best way to sit. Great question. Hang on. Barring that, you sit across from her. Sitting next to her is the worst. It can work. It can work. I'm just giving you the ideal scenario. More confident or more sexually relaxed women are okay sitting next to you, and maybe she might keno you. I mean, it happens, but that's not typical. As always, you need to plan on you being the sexual initiator, the sexual aggressor. Very few women are going to, it's not like the movies. Okay. It's very few women are going to initiate physical contact with you in a dating scenario. Very few. It happens, especially if you're not doing night game. I don't do night game. If you're doing night game and women are drunk, that's different. But if you're at a coffee shop or a bar after work, she's not drunk. She's not going to do that. She's going to play it cool. Okay. Let's see. Can you go out to dinner with a potential MLTR first after sex one time, but before lock-in? No, don't do that. No dinner dates before lock-in. No event dates before lock-in. So some of these over 33 women are going to say, let's go out to dinner and then let's go see a movie, or let's go karaoke. Let's go play pool. No, that is for women you're already having sex with at least twice. No, you're going to go to a bar or a coffee shop or outside and you're going to talk. If you go to a bar and she orders some food like an appetizer, that's okay. As a matter of fact, I have tracked this. Women who end up ordering a little food and you eat together, a little food, not dinner, like an appetizer where you're having your drinks, it's a first date, your odds of getting laid actually go up. I don't know why that is. I think they're more comfortable ordering food because they like you or something. So that's okay. But no. What about having a first date that is right next to house and taking it there, kissing and trying to escalate to sex is fine, right? Not if you're following my model. No, it's not. That is what you would do on a second date. On a second date, you want to get her to your place. If she says no, then you do what you just said. You get a bar or coffee shop really near your place, and then you bounce to your place on the second date. You do not try to fuck women on the first date using my model. You can do that if you want. That is not what I teach, not what I do. It's a lot more time and work and effort, statistically speaking. So you want to do that, go ahead and ignore my advice, do whatever you want. If you want to follow my model that I know for a fact works, that hundreds of thousands, millions of men have been doing since 2009, so I've been teaching this, don't try to fuck on the first date. Now, there will be rare circumstances where she will want to fuck you on the first date. She'll basically be like licking her lips and flipping her hair and saying, well, we could go back to your plate. Great, say yes and pull the trigger. Fine, but that's not typical. There's also the issue of sugar daddy game, where you could go right to sex if it's a pay for play scenario. You could do that. Topic for another time. Okay. Although many of these techniques I'm talking about directly relate to sugar daddy game. When at a first date at a bar, do you sit at the actual bar somewhere else? I answer that. Is it okay if the bar is attached to a restaurant? Those are dangerous. So if the bar is attached to a restaurant, but there's like a physical barrier, that's okay. If the bar is in a restaurant, those are more dangerous because it feels like she can order dinner now. So I would avoid those. If you're dating an MLTR with one young child, is it ever okay to meet the child before the talk? No, I would not. That's not a good idea, no. Okay. As for posture, so don't lean forward or straight up, but lean back. Your posture on a first date should be relaxed, confident, and comfortable. So let's see if I can do it in this chair. If you're on the podcast, I'll just have to describe what I'm doing here. Lean back, Caleb. So I'm leaning back a little bit. I've got a relaxed, happy expression on my face, but not a clown smile. I'm just like, chill, cool. You're nodding a lot. Oh, yeah, cool. This is the posture you want. Relaxed, lean back, relaxed. Not slouched, like a big fat ass after work watching a football game. Not that, not slouched, okay? What you don't want is leaning forward like an eager beaver beta male who thinks she's really pretty, and you're nodding like this. Oh, yeah? Oh, uh-huh. Eager? No, that's bad. You don't want ramrod straight like you just got out of the Marines. Hello. Now, I'm sitting up for, if you're listening to the podcast, I'm sitting up ramrod straight. This is a great position for business meetings. When you're trying to intimidate people, I use this all the fucking time, but not on a first date. The goal is not to intimidate on a first date, especially if you're a louder, bigger, intimidating guy. I'm more in that category. You lean back and relax. You're accessible and outcome independent and chill. That's the posture on a first date. That's also the frame of how you talk. Body language. You're chill, relaxed, having a good time. It's awesome. It's great. I even say in my books, borderline bored. Not bored, but on the edge, you're almost bored. That's how relaxed you are. Not sleepy, but close. Okay. Let's move on to the next topic. I'll rewind your questions. Cool? Cool. All right. Hang on a second. Honest thoughts on Hard Rock Cafe. Hard Rock. On a Hard Rock Cafe. That's a restaurant. I wouldn't do it for a first date. Can we sit at a bar if I turn my body towards her the whole night? No, because it looks needy. If you're sitting next to her and you swivel your whole body so you're facing her, especially if she's not facing you, it looks needy. The framing is off. So no, it's not a good idea. Sitting at a bar is not a good idea. If there's nowhere else to sit and you're fucked, then sit at the bar. But you should have your logistics planned. So you know, I did this for years. I had all my logistics planned for my 4 different bars, and the times of day they weren't super crowded, and I would go then. I planned this down to like a fine science. So I always knew I could get a good spot. Okay? That's the danger of like meeting women at a bar like 11 p.m. on a Friday night, Saturday night. It's going to be busy. So you better get a good spot. One last thing about first dates. I'm going to go to the next topic on meditation. This is a hard one to convey to some guys. You're not going on a first date to go out and have fun. So a lot of guys will go on a first date and then start drinking a lot because they like to drink a lot when they go out and have fun. No, this is not to have fun. The fun comes on the second date when she's bent over your couch and you're banging the shit out of her. That's the fun part. This is work. You got to be You got to be on. You got to perform on a first date. You're not there to go when the cool DJ is there. No, that's having fun. The goal of a first date is not to have fun. Have fun with her once you have sex with her twice. Then you can go out as an MLTR and have all the fun you want with her for the next 5 years, but not on the first date. You're there to operate under a specific model to achieve a specific result. You're not there to have fun. More extroverted guys or party guys or guys like to drink or guys like to go have fun. Younger guys, some older guys too. They go on a first date and they down 3 drinks and then they start shooting their mouths off because they're drunk and they blow the date. Happens all the times, you fucking guys. I get all these emails. And when I do coaching and stuff, oh man, I drank a little too much. I started shooting out my mouth about Trump. But you fucking moron don't. This is why I don't drink. One of the main reasons I don't drink. Okay? Let her shoot her mouth off about how great Bernie Sanders is. Fine. She can say whatever she wants. You can't. Have fun later. The objective of going on our first date is not to have fun. That's not why you're there. It's not to eat a pizza. And no. Do that shit later. Okay? All right. Panera serves food. Is it a good venue for first dates? I've used Panera a few times because you have to get up and go get the food. So that's okay. That's what I call a deli. So a deli is, there's no wait staff. You've got to go get the food. So she's not going to go up and get the food. So Panera is okay. I've used it for a handful of dates and it worked. Fancy bar's better. All right. For real, lost some great leads on Hinge by shitting on DeSantis. Well, either you were stupid or you were drinking or whatever. Luckily, someone says, luckily I hate fun. Great, that's great. All right. Next topic. I'll rewind your questions in a little bit. A lot of questions about this. Meditation. I am not a meditation expert, and this is not my area, but Alpha Male 2.0 is about Alpha Male 2.0 lifestyle. Meditation is a core technique for focusing on your work. I meditate almost every day. It is a core time management technique and productivity technique in my view. I don't meditate because I'm a woo-woo hippie dude. Obviously, I'm the opposite of that. I meditate because it increases your focus at work. In a social media collapsing Western world with your phone and your fucking laptop and Netflix and video games, your attention span has dropped. Meditation expands your attention span and lets you focus more. It cleans out your brain. There are 10,000 different ways to meditate. There is no right or wrong way. I'm going to give you what I do. What I do may or may not work for you. Matter of fact, I would assume it probably won't work for you. And I'll go along. I'll tell you the segments that maybe work for you better. This is what I do, but I've been meditating for a few years. I'm good at this. A lot of practice. Meditation is something else you get better at over time. The first time you do it, it's going to be really hard. Really hard. It's going to be hard. And it's just like a muscle. You train your brain to do it. Okay? I do something called transcendental meditation. It is literally the hardest meditation you can do. I'm going to summarize. I'll give you detail what I do. I do more than just this. You basically sit down, close your eyes, and you think about a mantra. It's a random weird word that doesn't mean anything, like Om. And you just say it. You just say it in your head over and over again. And that's all you think of for 20 minutes. Most people can't do that for 2 minutes. I do it for 20. You sit there and say Om, 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 not Om with your mouth, with your brain. Om, 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 and you kind of visualize Om, 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 Om. Sounds exciting, huh? You do that for 20 fucking minutes. It's hard. So if that's too difficult, I'll tell you what I suggest, and then I'll tell you what I do. What I suggest is you just count your breathing. You've heard this 10,000 times. Something else I want to talk about meditation really quick before I go to the technique. This is scientific. Studies have shown, numerous scientific studies have shown, that if you meditate even for 2 minutes, you get a benefit. It's not like I have to meditate for 20 minutes or else it's not worth it. No. If you meditated, most of you guys don't do any meditation. If most of you guys don't do any meditation, meditated for 2 minutes a day, you'd see a difference in your work. You'd make more money, probably. Okay? I mean it. Get to 20, now you're really kicking ass. Awesome. Also helps things like stress. A lot of you have that, don't you? I don't really have that, but a lot of you fuckers do. Okay? About America and all that bullshit, you know, the war. What about the war in Israel? Okay? Helps with stress. It helps a lot of things. Helps your sleep, helps your testosterone, Helps everything. Meditation's the shit. All right, now, what I recommend you do if you're a beginner is just count your breathing. You sit down, close your eyes, and you count. Breathe in, 1, breathe out, 2. Best way to breathe, you breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. As you breathe in through your nose, you breathe into your lower stomach. So you can't see it in the camera right now, but I'm putting my hand on my lower stomach. And as I breathe in, I'm filling up my lower stomach. You want to fill up the lower lungs first. That oxygenates your blood much better than just breathing. Most people breathe up here from their chest. That's why I have a good voice. I speak from my diaphragm. Instead of, I'll show you the example of how air works. Okay, this is you can hear the difference. Right now, I'm talking from my throat. Now I'm talking from my diaphragm. That's the only difference. Is where the air goes, right? So James Earl Jones, when he does Darth Vader, he speaks from his diaphragm. Okay. Hillary Clinton talks from her throat, which is one of the reasons she lost the election. She talks like this, and you want to fucking kill yourself. You see the difference? So when you breathe in, you fill up the bottom of your stomach to the top of your lungs, in the nose, and then you breathe out through your mouth. And you'll breathe in longer than you breathe out because your nose holes are smaller than your mouth. So you breathe in, 1, breathe out, 2, breathe in, 3, breathe out, 4. You get to 10, you start over at 1. And you try to focus just on the number. Now, other thoughts will come in, and that's okay. You'll get to 3, and a moose will come into your head. You're like, okay, get out of there, moose. Okay. You need a 4, and then you breathe out to 5, and you'll think about when you were in kindergarten, when you were 6 or something stupid. You're like, okay, get that out of there. Okay, great. And you're 5, you breathe 6, then you'll think of Kim Kardashian's ass. You're like, oh, get out of there. What the fuck? Okay. 9, 10. So you could have other thoughts. That's okay. But just go back to the number. One thing I used to do when I was learning this stuff is I would visualize like a beautiful vista, like a mountain range or the ocean or a cool city or something. And I visualize the number as a giant number in the sky floating. And so I see a giant number 1, and then see a giant number 2, and then a giant number 3. So you do that and just count to 10 and start back to 1 and do that for as long as you can. 20 minutes, that's ideal, but you work up to maybe do it for 3 minutes, set a timer for 3 minutes. Okay. Can you sit? You have to sit or lay or whatever. What meditation experts say to sit up straight, but they give no scientific data as to why. So I've done it sitting. Often I do it laying. If you have a recliner, you can lay back. Today, literally, I go lay in my bed. I just lay down because why not? Because you really lower your heart rate when you meditate. Also, those who use Oura rings, here's mine right here. Take it off before you do your meditation, because if you hardcore meditate, it'll think you're falling asleep. It'll be very confused. It'll say, what are you doing? Are you asleep? So it'll think you're taking a nap, even though you're not taking a nap. When you get really good at this, you can really drop your heart rate down. I can trick my Oura ring when I'm meditating to think I'm sleeping, and I'm not. That's how good I am at this shit. So take your Oura ring off and you do this, or else it'll get very confused. Okay. So that's what I would recommend if you're a beginner. Here's what I do. And you can take bits and pieces from this and integrate this in how you meditate. This is what I do. I'm not saying you should do this. This is not Alpha Male 2.0. This is what Caleb does. Caleb's opinion. And remember, you're not me, so you might not like some of this. You may love pieces of this. Design your own system like this. Here's how I meditate. I've been doing this for several years, okay? I visualize me stepping through a portal to my happy place. Happy place is a legitimate psychological concept. I have a happy place. I'll describe my happy place. My happy place, come up with your own happy place. So this is going to sound very weird to you because every guy's different. Every person's different. I mean, Pink Firefly, her happy place, and she gets more stressed out than I do, so she goes there more often than I do. I only go there when I meditate. Her happy place is Downton Abbey. If you've seen that show, it's a castle with these rolling hills and a garden and a flower, and she's walking in the garden. She's a princess, so she has a princess tiara, and she has that's her happy place. So my happy place is, this is going to sound insane, but this is my happy place. So fuck you. Come up with your own happy place. My happy place, this is all internal to your brain, is a floating asteroid. It's floating in the air over the city of Shanghai, specifically the Pudong district, where they have all those super high towers. Looks like Blade Runner. And I'm standing on the asteroid. I'm looking down at the city. And then off in the distance through the water, it shows my mantra. You can't tell people what your mantra is because then they'll say it and you'll get sleepy. So you never tell anyone your mantra. So I can't tell you what my mantra is. But I have a mantra, Okay. Let's say it's Om. So it says OM in the sky, and it's at night, and it's the stars, and it's like a crazy night sky with like purple and red and blues, and you can see that strip of the Milky Way galaxy right there. It's fucking amazing. I go there all the time. I don't go there all the time. I go there when I meditate. And then I have this asteroid, and there's a platform, and there's 10 stairs that go down, and there's a garden like with trees, and then there's a bed on a ledge. I have this whole, it's all real in my head because I've been visiting there for years. And when you do this, you'll have a place in your head that is like real to you. Maybe for you, it could be an ocean. Maybe it's in the sky. Maybe it's a fantasy thing. Maybe it's a spaceship. Maybe it doesn't matter. Whatever you like. Maybe it's a stadium that's empty and only you are there. Whatever the fuck it is. All right. So that's my happy place. So here's how I meditate. I visualize a portal, and I step through this portal. And when I step through the portal from this world, time stops here. Time's frozen. My greatest fantasy is I have a magical watch. There was a TV show from the 80s that was on, like, it wasn't even a TV show. I think it was a TV movie where this guy had a magical watch, and he pressed it and it froze time, and he could keep moving and doing things. That's my fantasy. I want that. I want to be able to freeze time and do like 20 hours of work and then turn time back on. Oh my God. Just saying that makes my heart pump with happiness. So when I step through this portal, time freezes. So now I can spend all the time I want. There's no rush because time isn't passing in the normal world. I'm in my world. Okay. I'm in like a pocket dimension. And I walk into this lab, and there's this giant computer with all these servers, and it goes all the way to the ceiling, all these monitors and things. And that represents my mind. And what I do is I walk over, and there's this giant switch, and I flip it, and I visualize, and I feel myself doing this as I'm meditating. I push down this lever, and it shuts down the computer. So it goes, and all the screens turn off, and the computer shuts down. So now my brain is shut down. I've shut off my brain. So I'm not going to think about anything. I actually visualize me having an empty head. My brain is off. So now I'm not thinking about anything because that's what I want. I want to meditate. I don't want to think about anything. Do I still think about things? Yes, but it helps. I visualize myself shut my. So then there's a door. I press a button. It slides open like Star Trek. Can you tell I have sci-fi elements in my happy place? Slides open like Star Trek, but it's a big iron door. And I walk out. I'm on that platform on the asteroid, right? So on the platform, there's a lazy boy chair, and then there's a nice bed down in the garden. So it's up on a platform. There's a little waterfall. So I hear the noise of the water. I'm looking up the stars, and there's a beam of light coming from the core of the Milky Way galaxy, coming from the universe, coming from God, coming from whatever, and it's shining down on this little spot on the platform. And I'm looking out of the garden on top of my asteroid, looking down at the city. So it's like this perfect vista to me. And what I do is I step into the light, and the light is a cleansing light. So what it does, I know this sounds insane, but we're dealing with the subconscious mind. That's what works. So I step into the light, and two things. First is I take a deep breath in the light, and I breathe out, and all of my stress, concern, anything negative I have blows out of my fingertips as a dark gas. I go in and I breathe out, and it blows out of my fingertips in this dark smoke, and that's all my negative thoughts. And they're like, my body's ejecting all my negative thoughts. And this will actually tell me the level of stress I have. So if I'm really stressed out or really thinking about stuff, I might have to do 3 breaths to get all the shit out of all the black smoke out of my body. If I'm normal, then it might be a little black smoke, and then I'm fine. And I keep doing it. There's no more black smoke. So now my brain is shut off, and I'm free of all negative thoughts. Cool, cool. So now I look up at the light. The light's shining down on me, and now the light's going to cleanse me. This is awesome. So what happens now is this horizontal beam of light starts at the top of my head, and goes down, and it goes over my whole body. And as it goes down, it's pushing out extra negative shit that I forgot to get out of my fingertips. It's cleaning it out. So down to my chest, my hands, okay, my stomach, my legs, all the way down to my feet. So now I am perfectly cleansed. And I step out of the light, I'm kind of actually glowing a little bit. So I'm perfectly cleansed by the universe itself, by God itself. And I have no negative thoughts, and my brain is shut off. So now I'm ready to go to meditate. But I do one more thing. I go crazy with this shit. What I also do is I go to the stairs. There's 10 stairs, and they're numbered 10 to 1. So I step on the first step, and I hear this thing go, and the number 10 lights up on the steps. I'm on step 10. This is another technique in and of itself I learned 20 years ago. I take a deep breath in, just like I described, deep breath out, thinking of the number 10. And all the way down the steps, 10 steps down, it's like a garden with trees. It's not a girly garden. It's more like, pine trees and stuff, like little like Christmas trees. But the trees emit a gas that put you to sleep. So every step I step, I get more sleepy. Okay. So I do 9. I step on the next step, goes doo-doo, and there's a 9. In, out, think about 9. And I'm a little more sleepy because we get close to the gas. Then I step on 8. All the way down to number 1. And then now I'm in the garden and I'm really sleepy. And I go to my favorite bed. It has the exact mattress I want with the exact blanket I want and the exact pillow I want. And I get in there and I go to bed. I go to sleep. I fall asleep. Okay. I go right to sleep. And then I start meditating. And then I start my transcendental meditation where I visualize myself in the bed, looking up at the stars or out at the city or out over the forest or whatever. And I do my mantra. Om, om, om. And the way I do it is I want to combine it with breathing. So I breathe in, om, 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 breathing in, breathe out, om, om, om. It might be like 7 ohms breathing in and 2 breathing out. You breathe out a lot faster, breathe in. And I'll do that. I set a timer. By the way, before any of this, before I lay down, I set a 20-minute timer. Okay. I usually have headphones on. Matter of fact, they're right here. I've shown these before. I think I have. These are the Sony sound blocking headphones. These are about $300. This is the top of the line. So I put these on and I play brown noise, which sounds like a rumble, or I'll play white noise, or there's a really good YouTube video that has Death Star ambiance. It sounds like the Death Star, that rumble, for like 12 hours or an hour. I'll play that. So I'm hearing nothing. So I put these on, set a timer for 20 minutes, and I do my mantra for whatever remains, 17 minutes or 15 minutes, and I keep doing that till the alarm goes off. Then I get up and I'm done. That's what I do. I do that about 4 to 5 times a week. Not every day. I should do it every day. A little busy these days, but I do it about, about 4 times a week. 4 to 5 times a week. And this is one of the reasons why I'm productive and focused, because I meditate. So I wake up and I don't feel any different. I actually feel a little sleepy. But I'm able to focus more and work now because I've cleaned all the bullshit out of my head. I've cleared the thoughts out of my head, and I've expanded my focus time and my attention span. Also, I've reduced my stress. If I had any stress creates cortisol. Cortisol kills testosterone. Stress kills testosterone. You don't want a lot of stress. People think that high testosterone guys are angry and stressed out, and it's actually the opposite. Stressed out guys, usually betas who have low T. Angry guys are all pissed all the time. You have low T, not high T. So that'll help too. Meditation. Cool? Cool. Okay. Oh, that's it. Let me look at your questions here. What do you think about guided meditation? I think that's fine. Guided meditation is great. I know Sam Harris's meditation app is really popular, right? Guided meditation is great. Do it. It works. I don't do that, but if that works for you, great. It's one of those things. Some people prefer guided. Some people don't hate guided. I prefer doing my own, but guided is great. You want to do that? Fine. Just fucking meditate. I don't care how you do it. Asking how to fix a procrastinating, insecure, Lisig type brain and personality, keeping the 4 static motivation, skills, tap motion, matrix quadrant in mind, inner work. Way too general a question. Narrow down your question. Way too general. How do I fix my life, Caleb? Too general. So I have to go to a bar that has a corner. Not all bars do have a corner. Is that what I said? Is that what I said? You have to go to a bar with a corner? No. I said it's best. You can't find one, fine. Ideally, you don't have to. No. Have you done any lucid dreaming? What is that? How is it different than normal dreaming? I have dreams, occasionally, not often. I don't know what lucid means. Great scene for the next comic book you make, Caleb. I already have for those written out. I have plans for those. I'll announce those in a little bit, a few weeks. I got big plans for those comic books. Have any transitions into Kino? I know the palm reading trick, but I'm hesitant to use it since many other men have used it on her, so it won't work. Any other excuses to breach the touch barrier? Okay, so things like palm reading are fine if you're at a beginner level. That's okay. You're right. That's been overdone. If you're feeling the groove, you can just touch her, and you just touch her with your fingertips for a second, and then pull back. And then you talk for a little bit, and you touch her hand or touch her arm, and then you pull back. That's fine. That's the segue. If you have more confidence, you can say it. I've done this many times. Give me your hands. And she'll say, what? Like, give me your hand for a second. Okay. And you just kind of touch her hand. And you go, And you keep talking, or you touch her hand, and then you let go. Just a few seconds. If you hold on to the hand, then it gets weird. So there's some examples. Where did you learn this? I learned transcendental meditation has been around since the 70s. So there you go. The stair-stepping technique I learned in the 90s from a business meditation guy. I forget his name. All the other things I made up myself from things I've heard. Does this start at 12 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays? No, it starts at 11, right? Do you meditate after waking up? I used to. I don't know when the best time to do this is. There's no right or wrong answer. You can, and a lot of people do. I used to. What I do now is I use it as one of my breaks. Throughout the day, I take breaks when I work. And one of my breaks is I go meditate. So I do it around the middle of the day. But absolutely, you can do it waking up. That works great. The only time I think it doesn't make sense is right before bed. Why would you want the benefits of meditation right before you go to bed? So when you wake up or halfway in the day or maybe early evening, you're going to work in the evening, that's when I would do it. Can you give us additional transitions from relationship talk to sex talk? Your main one, why didn't it work out? Was he bad in bed? Yeah, that's my main one. You got to give me, it's hard for me to just come up with them. You got to give me a thing she would say. So give me a thing she would say about a relationship, and I'll give you an answer as to talk about sex. You just ask questions about the ex. Did you guys not have very much sex? Did he have a small dick? Was he bad in bed? Or did he cheat on you? Or did you cheat on him? Or was there a sexual thing? Or any of those types of questions usually does a trick. By the way, now that you mentioned Kim Kardashian's ass and you're an ass guy, do you like fake asses on girls? I do if they're good. I live in Dubai. A lot of fake asses here. I do if they're good. I've been with both. I've been with a lot of good fake ass women, and I've been with at least one not good fake ass girl. Yeah, I mean, I was with one girl. I don't know where she had her fake ass. She might have gone down Eastern Europe or something, but it was like, okay, this is not looking good. When we were doing doggy style, like, but if the fake asses are good, they're good now. Oh, yes, I like them if they're good. Same thing with fake boobs. If they're good, I like them. Yeah, great. Do you meditate? Do you meditate also may be a great question to ask women. I have the impression it seems to connect with their rich inner sensory minds. Sure. On a first date, sure, you can bring it up. Sure. So you let her speak a lot, which builds her investments into the first date. It doesn't build investment, it builds comfort. So I'm going to rewind back to Mystery Method in the mid 2000s. Mystery said, and he's right, the way a woman has sex with you the first time is she needs two things in equal measurement. She needs attraction and she needs comfort. She needs both. If she has attraction and not comfort, she's too scared to go home with you. If she has comfort and no attraction, you're in friend zone. If she has neither comfort nor attraction, she's like, fuck this, and she'll never see her again. So on a first date, you need to build attraction and comfort. So attraction is relaxed frame, talking about sex, not kissing her ass, only keeping it to an hour, not kissing her. That all increases attraction. How you look, okay? That's attraction stuff. Letting her talk the whole fucking time increases comfort. And so at the end of that first date, if you've done it right, you have ramped up comfort, ramped up sexual attraction, both, and now you're primed to get laid on the second date as soon as she sees you. I've had second dates that were like 15 minutes. She walks in, 15 minutes, we're having sex. All because the first date. Even though I'm in LA, it's very hard to find a good bar for a date that has decent seating arrangements, doesn't have a restaurant attached, isn't too loud, and serves a variety of drinks. False. You're in LA. You can find a bar I'm talking about. That's not true at all. Wrong. Let's see. I'm scrolling up the questions. I'll get back to them in a minute. Can we sit at the bar? I guess I got here. If I have an OLTR, when do I tell her that on the first date? You have two different models. You tell her on the dating app before the first date, or you say on text before the first date, or you tell her on the first date or at the end of the first date. I tell women right off the bat. So what do? I tell women, If it's non-sugar daddy game, I tell women at the beginning of the first date when we're face-to-face. If it's sugar daddy game, I say it in my profile because they don't care if I'm married or not. So, good question. Okay, hang on. I got to scroll back down here. Beep, 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 beep. What about 2 10-minute sessions? Sure, that can be fine. Jerry Seinfeld, successful people do meditations. Jerry Seinfeld's big on this. Clint Eastwood's big on transcendental meditation. Jerry Seinfeld does it twice a day. He'll do it in the morning, first thing, then he'll do it about 2 o'clock. And he says he doesn't get tired in the afternoon if he meditates around noon or 2. I haven't experienced that. I mean, I don't think it makes that big of a difference, but it does make a difference. Sir, sure, that's fine if that works for you. Tip for those still at job. Some companies have prayer rooms, ideal for locations to retreat for the day if you're meditation on people raising questions. That's a good point. Well, I'm in Dubai. I've got prayer rooms all over the place here. So 4 a.m. is a good time to meditate. That might be a good time to sleep. When's the best time to meditate? I do it right before bed. I don't see the advantage of doing it right before bed. I'm sure there are advantages to doing it right before bed. I'm sure that will help you. So if you're meditating perfectly the way I'm talking about, where you're not thinking anything for 20 minutes, and so there are benefits. I think you'd get more benefits you did earlier in the day. I think, but I could be wrong. What's the best music to make love to? You ask her what kind of music she likes. If not, you put on sexual music, or I put on whatever the fuck I want. And I say, "Do you like this?" They go, "Sure." I put on 80s synth wave. Okay, but that I'm an 80s nerd. And I say, "Do you like that?" She goes, "Yeah, sounds like a video game." Because they're young girls, they don't know what the 80s is. So whatever she likes, whatever she's comfortable with, doesn't matter. What nationality of guys are the most romantic? Wait for a response. Are they the best in bed too? The most romantic men? There's an answer. It's Latin guys. Latinos, Hispanic guys, the most romantic. Are they the best in bed? Probably. Here's a funny story. Not a funny story, a good example. In the Western world, United States, Canada, Western Europe, what do you hear about nonstop about women complaining about men? They're shitty in bed. They suck. So in America, all women, they just go pump, 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 come, and they roll over and they're done. You're like, and the woman's like, what? That's why if you're even decent at sex, you're going to be very successful at Alpha Male 2.0 because men are so horrible in bed. But that's in America. So in Paraguay, my eppies down there, they hook up with the ones who hook up. A lot of the Paraguayan women are very 50 are extreme. Either they have a lot of sex, they're horny chicks, or they never fuck anybody and they're like quiet, nerdy girls. It's kind of one or the other in Paraguay. So the horny ones, the one who have sex, you say, like, I did this years ago and I wasn't not well versed with Paraguayan culture and Latin culture. I'm like, I would ask questions like, so are guys in Paraguay good at having sex, good at making you feel good? I was expecting, oh no, they're terrible. You know what they go? The women go, yeah, they're pretty good. And I heard that went, what? I've never heard that in my life because I live in America where white guys suck. Before you go to bed, repeat reading your goals in your mind to figure out to attain those goals during your sleep. Yes, agree. That's very good. Yes. Ray Dalio is about, yes, Ray Dalio is transcendental. Very successful men do this, guys. I mean, think about some business influencers like Sam Ovens was really big on this stuff. Yeah, it works. Or else I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. As always, I wouldn't do this if there were not a mountain of scientific data proving it works. I don't do shit that isn't backed by science and objective reality. Or else I wouldn't do this shit. I'd rather not do it. It takes 20 minutes. I'd be working. But it's better. How do you improve your sexual skills, especially if you're just starting out? Also, how do you tell women you're having sex with other women if you're just starting a non-monogamous lifestyle? All right, 2 questions. One is, don't worry about sexual skills and just focus on making her come. You can make a woman come. You buy my book, haveopenrelationships.com. There's a whole section on this. Women can come one of 4 ways: finger, tongue, cock, which is almost impossible, or vibrator. If you want to cheat, get a little vibrator that's really strong, those little bullet vibrators, and just put it on her clit until she comes. That's okay. Otherwise, use your finger Or ask her to like finger or tongue, and she'll tell it. And then do one of those two things. That's it. Focus on that. You make her come, you're there. You don't have to worry about sex skills. Be a sex god. How do you tell women you're just having sex with women? Very long, detailed answer. You date them for 3 to 5 months. You do not discuss a relationship. If she asks about other women, you blow it off and don't answer the question. After 3 to 5 months, you have something called the talk, where you sit down and tell her verbally for the first time you're not a monogamous man, and that's how you'll always be. And if she considers that a deal breaker, then you understand. And then she'll cry and go away for 2 days, then come back and keep dating you as long as you've done all the cardinal rules. You need to watch more of my content or buy my books. Telling a woman you're on a date with that you're married, doesn't that jump her SP Disney and spike her ASD? Doesn't that jump on her? No, not if she's well under the age of 33. If she's over 33, she'll get up and leave right then and there. If she's in her early 20s, she doesn't give a fuck in most cases. No. So that's why if you have an OLTR, your FBs are going to have to be much younger girls or women who are older like you, but are cheating on their boyfriends or have open marriages themselves or something like that. You cannot date. If you have an OLTR marriage or girlfriend, you're not going to be able to have FBs over the age of 33 who are single. They won't do it. They'll get so angry, they'll fuck you. Because what are they looking for? Provider hunters. What's the best way to deal with performance anxiety? A friend of mine. I'm asking for a friend. What happened? Hey, Caleb, so if your dick doesn't work during sex, yeah, I'm asking for a friend. A friend of mine has a hard time standing at attention the first 2 times with a new girl. With his Emmentaur, he got 3 times in a row. That is with practice. That comes, here's the answer. You need to fuck new girls. I had a little bit of that after my divorce, way back 15 years ago. A little bit of that. You're just not accustomed to having sex with new girls. You got to get accustomed again. That's it. Why do you think black guys are such naturals? What about their genetics and upbringing makes them so good at getting pussy, do you think? I don't know. Black men are way more naturally confident than white guys, so that's a big plus. They're more alpha than white guys, so that's a plus. They're cooler than white guys, that's a third plus. So it's those traits. Beyond that, I couldn't tell you. My son is black, but he's raised in a white environment. So it's those 3 things. If you're a black guy, you're probably more confident, you're probably more cool than a typical white guy. So it helps. That's it. Anything from us guys or other races can copy for them to get their success. Confidence. Copy a black guy's confidence. Confidence. That's it. How many hours do you work on a day on average? Let's see. 7 to 12, depending on the day. Can the second date be a day after the first? It should be. The second date should happen as fast as you can after the first date. The more time between the second and first date, the lower your odds become. So ideally, you want the second date to be the next fucking day. Yeah. I know you recommend making changes after 1,000 swipes. I have not been auto swiping, so I do not have that tracked. So I set a time frame to test whether something's working. I mean, yes, but it depends on the app. So swipe a lot 5 days a week for like 2 weeks, then stop on that app and give it a week and don't swipe at all. Get off the app, don't even touch it for like a week, then go back and do it again. If you're just swiping all the time, not all the time, if you're swiping a lot daily, just forever, the algorithm starts to hate you. So that's it. Did my first successful talk on the phone. Don't do it on the phone, but I'm glad it was successful. Currently, Smooth said, am I lucky? You're lucky if you do it on the phone. Don't do the talk on the phone. You got very lucky. Follow my advice next time. You just got lucky, yeah. Are there any FBs that would commit to you if you weren't with PF? Oh, yes. I might talk about that a little later. Oh, yes. The answer is a big yes. Yes. I give ED training remotely. Just finished this session with a guy. Okay, that's great. Please don't try to sell your stuff on my stream. That'd be great. But that's wonderful. I'm glad you ED training. That's great. All right, I'm gonna take a drink. How are we doing on time here? I can hang out for another few minutes. Yeah, I got a few things to do here. I have this limited amount window of time before Eastern time closes. When I leave here in Dubai, I have to stay up late. It's great. Hang on one moment here. I was losing connection on these live streams, and I think I fixed it because I have not lost the connection once. I'm so happy I fixed it. I found the problem. Awesome. The problem was my iPhone had the hotspot turned on. And my computer was getting confused. I don't know why I was confused, but all right. Caleb, how do you dominate and fuck well a bitch that's taller than you and thick? Her physical size and physical body has nothing to do with you dominating her during sex. I'm 5'9". Dude, I'm 5'10.5". So you're not much shorter than me. I'm not super tall. I'm not short, but I'm not tall. Sometimes I bang taller girls and they are hard to maneuver or lift. You sell them. Move. Move. You yell at them and you tell them. Move. Bend over. No. Here. Good. Put your arm here. You tell them. If you can't physically move her, I'm a big guy, so I don't really have your problem. But I've been with a few women who are really tall, not very many, because I don't like tall girls. Or women who have bigger frames. You move them as best you can, and then you tell her, move. Turn over. Give orders if you like that. I've said this many times. During sex, only during sex, no other time in my life, but just during sex, I am the biggest Andrew Tate alpha male 1.0 in the universe. I am alpha male 1.0 to the extreme during sex. Just had some this morning. So yes, I tell bitches what to do and they do it. Daddy says this. Be a good girl. Yeah. Only during sex. As soon as sex is over, I'm back to do whatever you want. I don't care. So yeah, just tell them. And it doesn't matter how big they are. None of that matters. How tall they are. None of that shit matters. Doesn't matter at all. It's all mental here. It's all here in the head. She's still a girl. Since most women do not check bios on swipe apps, what area do you recommend evaluating or changing? Photos. Recently, I got new photos taken. Yeah, good. It's the only area, man. It's 80% of it. 80% of online dating success is photos. Literally everything, every other aspect of online dating, not the first date, that's real life. Online dating is the remaining 20%. Openers and the algorithm and all that shit is 20%. The conversation, closing, 80% photos. Your type is small blondes with big asses and tits, to my knowledge. That is correct. Does that mean all your FBs are your type? Or do you have some brunettes or light skins? You know, damn near they're that. So I have 4 FBs that I consider my core, and they're all that. But I do what I like. Some guys like variety. Let me think this through here. So-and-so is exactly that. So-and-so is a little taller with darker hair. So she has lighter hair, but it's not blonde. And she's not short. She's 5'5", 5'6". She's the tallest one. Then so-and-so is exactly that. And so-and-so is exactly that. So my top 4 are exactly that. One of them, not so much, but close. Then I have my other FBs who are not like that. I have several FBs who have dark hair. I have one FB, like her a lot, but she's not my core. And she, what can I describe her? Yeah, I guess I'll describe her. She has long jet black hair. She's 5'10". She's a hair shorter than me, but she has giant boobs and whoo. I have several FBs who have dark hair, but they're not what I consider my favorite. So I think I answered your question. And you've seen my wife. So my wife isn't short. She's shortish. She's 5'4". And she doesn't have a big ass. She has big tits. My MLTR told me I'm mean during sex. The rest of the time it's how cute I am. That sounds like that you are not sexually compatible with her, and she probably shouldn't be your MLTR. If she's an MLTR, she should like the way you have sex naturally. If you have to modify the way you have sex in a way you normally wouldn't with your MLTR, in my view, it's not a good MLTR. FB is okay, but why do you want to have sex with a woman who doesn't like the way you like to have sex? I'm very dominant during sex, so I tend to get along with women who like to be dominated during sex. I've had scenarios, I've talked about them, where you get some more dominant bitch, not bitch, I shouldn't say bitch, a more dominant woman who needs to be more dominant during sex, and we have sex and it just doesn't work. Because I'm trying to be dominant, she's trying to be dominant, and it just didn't work. Nope. Nothing wrong with her. She's beautiful and fun, and, I've had that a few times. You are an inspiration, man. Well, thank you. I'm here to inspire the masses. How do I emotionally and mentally accept the fact that my OLTR may sleep with other men? You need to buy The Unchained Man, or wait for the new version soon, and or get the Ultimate Open Relationships Manual. I have entire chapters on jealousy management techniques. I've had a girl cheat on me in the past. That's different. And it biologically, viscerally made me furious. I feel like there's no solution. If she cheats on you in a monogamous relationship, there is a different reaction than if it's a non-monogamous relationship and she hooks up with a guy. It's less bad. It is. It's not going to feel like that. You won't like it, and also it's practice. Get those 2 books and do the techniques. There is a solution. There's many of them. Many guys go through these. I'm losing a lot of interested girls when they check my Instagram. They add me and immediately unfollow me immediately. Often I'm a 6 in looks, but my Instagram's basic of a bunch of selfies. Then don't show them your Instagram. That's an easy solution. Such a big deal to bitches. What the fuck? If they already like me, why the shit? Okay, now you're getting outcome dependent. Stop showing women your Instagram. How many women do I show my Instagram? 0. 0. I don't even bring it up. How would an alpha male 2.0 be in sex in comparison to a 1.0, or does that even exist? During sex, none of these categories matter. I've written whole articles on this. During sex, people can be very different. There are lots of dominant bitch women who are super submissive during sex. And then outside of sex, they're back to being a dominant again. There are CEO men of companies, powerful heads of industries who like to be dominated by dominatrix, who like to be whipped and spit on, and they love that shit. And as soon as sex is over, they're back to being ass kickers. So during sex, you're a whole different person, or let's say a different person, and that's okay. So these categorizations have no meaning during sex. During sex, I'm an alpha 1.0, and I think being an alpha 1.0 sucks ass. So I would never be one in real life, ever. I don't want to be. But during sex, yes. But that's just during sex. All right. 2 more minutes-ish. At 30 after the hour, I should go. Let's see here. Did we put this on the Sovereign Seal? Okay, no, we didn't. Okay, the live stream's correct. Good. The Sovereign Seal live stream, by the way, this week accidentally went up on the Alpha 2.0 live stream. I apologize for that confusion. We're trying to modify things and growing pains. So, yeah. Let me check a few things here. Best ways to avoid being possessive outside the bedroom. You are outcome dependent. You need to ask yourself, why? Why am I so possessive? And then be quiet, listen to your answer. Your brain will answer. I'm possessive because she might cheat on me. Then you ask, for example, I don't know what your brain will say. Then you say, okay, why do I care about that? Because she shouldn't cheat on me. Why do I think that? Because the Bible says, and you just keep doing that, and eventually you'll get to the root reason, and you'll go, well, I don't give a shit about that. That's the exercise you go through. That's how you create outcome independence. Why do I care? I'm going to say this again, folks. There are 4 billion women on the planet. Even if only 10% are fuckable, that's hundreds of millions, I think, of women. Why are you worried about 1 or 2? You're being a beta one-itis pussy. It makes no sense. Literally. I do an exercise when I do live seminars where I take the city I'm in. Let's say I'm in Chicago. There's 8 million people in Chicago. I say, okay, half of the people are women. Okay, 4 million. Okay, only 10% are fuckable. All right, 4 million. So that's 400,000 women. You got 400,000 women within a 50-mile driving radius of your house. Why are you worried about this 1 or 2? You fucking moron. Stupid. So you guys, the vast majority, if you literally live out in the middle of the boonies, if you live out in the middle of nowhere, sorry, you're fucked. But if you live anywhere in a city or even near a city, you got hundreds of thousands of cute girls that you would have sex with within a 30, 40, 50, maybe 60 at the worst minutes driving radius of your home. Why are you so possessive and worried about 1 of them? Stupid. You're literally being stupid. This is not caveman times. We're in a tribe of 30 people and half of them are girls to 15, and there's only 3 cute girls, and you're like, oh shit, I only have 3, and then the alpha males try to get them, and now you're fucked. That's why you think that way, by the way. Read my books. That's why you get possessive with women. You think you're a caveman still. Dude, there's 200,000 chicks right outside your fucking door. Go get some of them. And by the way, a huge percentage of them, this will blow your fucking mind, you betas, a huge percentage of those girls are hotter, smarter, and more fun than the one you're worried about. Whoops. Ooh, that's bad. Doesn't that sting? Yeah, that's right. It's true. There you go. Do you still recommend a professional photographer for photos even if iPhone cameras have advanced? Yes, because you won't know how to use them. Do you have photography skills? Are you a professional photographer? No. So that means you get a photography student. You don't need a professional photographer. You can be a photography student. And you hand them your iPhone. That's fine. Hand them your iPhone. If you have an iPhone 15, I got a 14. Great. That's fine. Do you understand lighting and depth of field and all that shit? I don't. Do you? There you go. That's why you need to hire somebody. If you do, fine. If you're a professional photographer, you're good to go. The more generic answer, indeed, to the AD guy would be to recommend him to find a hypnotherapist. Okay. I asked in another vid about testosterone tests in the U.S. You mistakenly answered STD sites. Any good T testing sites for the U.S.? No, those same sites will know it. Oh, I did? Did I say STD testing? Sorry. I don't. It's the same answer I gave. I don't remember. Hang on a second. See if I can pull it up really fast on my computer. If I can't, then sorry. Let me see if I can do this really quick. Because I have a file on blood test companies. See if I can find it. If I can find this in less than 15 seconds, I will let you know. Hang on. Physical tests. Let's get physical. Physical. I wanna get physical. Let's get a physical. She just died. She died like 3 years ago. Olivia Newton-John. I had a crush on her when I was in the 80s in Greece. Okay, I think I found it. Oh, maybe I didn't. Other data. Okay, here we go. I found it. For you Americans, lef.org, privatemdlabs.com, and directlabs.com for you Americans. Testosterone testing sites. You get your blood tested there. Go do it. You get your blood shit tested at least once a year, guys. Testosterone, estradiol, thyroid, which is T3, and vitamin D. Those 4 things should be tested at least once every other year. I test them every year. I test them every 8 months. Once a year would be better. Once you get to a baseline, then once every other year, but you got to get to that baseline first. Do you recommend booking a hotel room if you don't have your own place or if you're not able to do the deed in your own place? You can. That raises AST and fear, but I have made that work. Yes, you can. There's lots of options. You can, if she's young girls, do it in the car. If she's 18, 19, 20, she'll do it in the car. I don't care. A lot of them. Hotel room, Airbnb seems a little more friendly sometimes. I have my books talk about all this. Share a friend's room. If a buddy has a place, kick him out for a few hours and work out something with him. You have lots of options. But yeah, you can do it. It's just that AST and fear rises with women and they see a hotel. They go, hotel? But you can. I've done it. Yeah. All right. One more question. And I got to go. I'll do one more if there is. I'll give you 15 seconds because I know there's a delay. There's always a delay between when you type the questions when I see them. I talk fast, so yeah. Yeah, it's 1:34 past the hour. Why is the light on the left-hand side of my camera screen vibrating like that? What the fuck is that? Because that's only through the camera. Why is my iPhone making that vibrate? What the fuck is that? Is that a ghost? All right, last question. Have I heard of the Silva method? I have. It was invented by a mind science pioneer. It's basically active meditation. I have heard of it. I think I took a look at it a long time ago, but I don't remember anything about it. But I have heard of it, yes. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. I will see you guys. If you're interested in Sovereign CEO, that's the Five Flags business channel, Location Independent Income, which is a subset of Alpha Male 2.0. I will be back there 11 a.m. EST. The scheduling for all these, by the way, is 11 a.m. EST Monday for Sovereign CEO, 11 a.m. EST Wednesday for Alpha 2.0. Cool? Cool. All right. Bye, guys. Have fun.